A few years ago, I was displaced. I didn't have anywhere to live. I couldn't get out of bed because I was having about 10 seizures every single day, severe PTSD and flashbacks, and just overall not in a very good place. Now, I am a founder of a community. I'm an artist and I've put out my debut single, and I am an actress. Here's how I did it. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Healing for Artists podcast. I'm your host Helena Yasmin, and let's get into it. What is Healing for Artists? What is the founding story behind it? And what to expect from this community moving forward? So let's rewind back to me becoming a disabled artist, back into 2020. It's the lockdown. I was working as a PA for my mentor, Danielle Hayden, who is the owner of the Dan's Rose Talent Agency. And at the time in lockdown, she just started an online Zoom mentoring sessions. And I was able to attend those. And we had to go through a process of learning how to align spiritually and then how to dip into entrepreneurship, which is entrepreneurship for artists and creatives. I ended up writing my dissertation on entrepreneurship and spirituality, and so that tied in quite nicely to my personal ethos. In her classes, we had to come up with the idea of a business and give it a name, which is where I came up with the idea of Healing for Artists. That's what the name was going to be, but I had no idea what I wanted the vehicle to be. I didn't know what I really wanted Healing for Artists to be. Like, I knew I wanted it to be a community, but I didn't know like what to do, how to do it, like what the offerings were going to be, who I'm trying to reach, etc. Well, I knew I was trying to reach artists, right? Performers, creatives, artists, actors, musical theatre people, but also like visual artists, musicians, because these are all disciplines that I myself am in. And I just wanted a space where artists can come together, heal and grow and build our careers sustainably without burning out, which is what I ended up doing. I ended up crashing out and burning out so badly after graduating. I went to drama school and then I left in 2021. I moved back to a place that wasn't very good for me mentally. There was someone there that was causing me a lot of harm, verbally, physically, etc. Not a very good situation. But at the time, I'd also just gotten a job working as a cabaret singer and an entertainment host. So I do like slime making workshops and alpaca walks for people, but then in the evenings also do like entertainment for adults and children. And then I'd also be a cabaret singer. So I'd sing like pop songs, BBC Live Lounge, acoustic vibes, all of that good stuff. This was a 6-day-a-week job, which is very intense. And I didn't know at the time, but I'd started getting seizures, but I didn't know that it was a seizure. My eyes would like flicker and I would just feel really unwell, but I didn't like know what it was. I just had this ethos to just like keep pushing through and keep grinding. And then at work training, which was 5 hours away from where we lived, I ended up burning out completely to the point where I started getting seizures properly and like a really like big body moving seizure, like the ones that you kind of see in movies. Ended up going to the hospital, and this ended up being like a long journey for the next few years. One, getting diagnosed. I had an EEG test on. That's when they stick like wires to your head and they like scan your brain waves. And I was diagnosed with generalized epilepsy. I was diagnosed with complex PTSD. I was diagnosed with an FND, which is a functional neurological disorder called NEAD, which is non-epileptic attack disorder. So I had this conflicting diagnosis where I had generalized epilepsy and then I also have non-epileptic seizures. So that was confusing in itself, and a lot of the next few years was like moving house to house, different people, different my friends' houses, my family friends' houses, everywhere. I was just living all over the country. I moved to London, I moved to the south coast, I moved back to London again, which I'm completely blessed and fortunate to be in such a better situation mentally, physically. I've been having therapy for the non-epileptic seizures and I'm under a nursing care for the epileptic seizures, figuring out which epilepsy drugs, like the dosage is going to work best for my seizures. So unfortunately I'm still having seizures. I even had some this morning, but overall it's a lot less. At its worst, I was having like over 10 a day. I was losing hours of the day because like time would just disappear because I was in this fog of having seizures, having brain fog, not being able to function. It was very, very scary. But I was very blessed that I had friends and family to help me through this time. Even when I was having these seizures, I started to get acting roles. I was very blessed. I ended up going on a touring pantomime across the UK in an adult version of Aladdin as Princess Jasmine. I was a dancer for a New York awards show. Last year I made my West End debut. I was a vocalist at the Royal Drury Lane Theatre. And there's a lot more stuff that I think I've forgotten right now. But yeah, I was completely burnt out. And now I'm on the right path to getting better and to focus my energy on healing and growing. And that's exactly what I want to also provide within my community, Healing for Artists. And that's where this comes in. As I was getting better, I still am, I guess, very much so. But again, like some days I can function really well and some days I still get seizures, but it is what it is. And then hopefully over time, eventually I won't have any more seizures. So when I was having them, I was still able to create the Healing for Artists WhatsApp community, which has over 300 professional performers, actors, musicians, we have dancers. Yeah, we have a good load of different people. One of the best, most active chats is the SOS self-tape group for actors, which any actors that need a last minute reader for their auditions, their self-tapes, they can pop a little call out in the chat and then someone will read in for them. That's been going really well. People have been chipping in and helping each other out, which has been really beautiful to see. If you're an actor and you need a last minute self-tape reader, then feel free to join that community whilst it's still open, because at some point we're going to close all of the community chats, make it private. The people that are in, you're the OG members, so you will have lifetime access to the community, but we're going to start charging for the community a very small fee once it becomes a membership platform. So definitely get in on it whilst you can, because this is the cheapest it's ever going to be, which is free right now. Whilst I figure out the business model and the structure, you want to hop on this bandwagon before the price goes up. We've been starting to do some classes in real life and also online. We've ran 3 different variations of the dance audition workshop for actors. This is when you have a movement call audition coming up and you want to know the foundations of what to expect in movement calls. This is for actors and beginner musical theatre people. You want to know the foundations of what to expect, foundations of what to do, like pirouettes and stuff like this. And then you also learn a professional grade choreography, and it gets filmed at the end. So if you want it for your show reel or for educational purposes, you can have that. So we've done those last 3 at Base Dance Studios. We've been very blessed that they've offered their spaces to us, and hopefully we will continue to run more of these workshops in the near future. I now have a team of people on Healing for Artists squad. We have choreographers, we have personal assistant, we have community manager, and so I'm excited to keep growing with this new team and then also in myself and with you. We've also run wellness workshops, so like monthly intention setting, reflecting from the month before, and goal setting for the month ahead. That's a really beautiful offering. We've had some good feedback and I think we want to continue that. We've had some good requests to keep doing them, so keep your eye out for the May reflection and then the June intention setting, which will come up soon because it's nearly June. Oh my gosh. We might start running some zine making workshops, so like you get to take away a mini magazine, because as a visual artist I've been creating an archive of mini zines and incorporating that into my visual art pieces, which I am excited to share that practice and journey with you as well. So wellness-based workshops, dance-based workshops will be coming out soon. Please keep your eyes out for that and let me know what else you want to see. On the podcast, people have been requesting industry guests, so hopefully we'll grab more people to come on board. I actually have had a few requests from people who want to be interviewed, so if you also want to be interviewed, shoot me a DM. I might be slow at replies because I am still in my healing era, but I will pop it over to my PA, or someone else will helpfully give you a sheet or something. I don't know. So we're still in the configuration stage of Healing for Artists. But I just want to say thank you so much for supporting this journey so far. I'm going to come back with a more solid plan, but I just wanted to say hey and introduce myself because I've been getting a lot of questions on what is Healing for Artists and what to expect in the future. So workshops, classes, that's what you should expect. And a beautiful community of other creatives and artists who want to thrive in a space together and don't necessarily feel like they have a third space and places to hang out with and people to connect with. And in the community spaces you can network and call out for your project, so there's also opportunities to get jobs and to connect with other people and collaborate. So that's another beautiful bonus. I'm sorry, this has felt like such a rant or like a ramble, but that's okay, we love a little yap. For me personally, as a newly disabled artist, I'm excited to put out new music. I wrote a collection of songs at drama school called Trophy, which is again about healing from toxic relationships, and I'm excited to put out those songs. It's pop R&B, and I'm also developing a musical theatre piece to go alongside that for my residency, because I am a resident at the University of London. I'm a creative in residence, so I'll be putting on a show soon. And that's me, that's my practice, what I do, and that's also the plan, the bare bones structure plan for Healing for Artists. If you're an artist or a creative or a performer, you need to know about entrepreneurship and entrepreneurship. You need to know the basics and the foundations, because you, as an artist, you're the brand. You don't want to be going into auditions being like, please give me the job, because that will give like desperate energy and you won't get it, because you need to go in like knowing who you are and knowing what you can offer and bring to the table. So that is another conversation for another day. If you want to know more about this and you want to know more about Healing for Artists and be in this beautiful community as we grow, then please subscribe. Please give the podcast a 5-star review on Spotify if you can, if you like it, if you like this content. It helps out so much. And thank you so much for listening or watching. I will see you next week. Bye!